welcome to the channel. It's Whiskey Wednesday, episode 8. I love Wednesday. I always really look forward to this. It's really cool. Let's go through the normality of Whiskey Wednesday. The shiny precious metals glass full of ice cubes. The whiskey. You'll be impressed with this. Still got quite a bit left, although I did have one while I was cooking tea earlier on, which I did do a short, so listen to this. Music to my ears. Oh, lovely. God, that's too much, isn't it? But I like to indulge. So, to kick things off properly and officially for Whiskey Wednesday, cheers everybody. I hope you're all good. Sit down, this could be a bit of a long one. I try not to make it too long, but who knows, there's no agenda. Cheers everyone. I did do a bit of an update yesterday. I've been a little bit quieter than what I am usually. And I haven't posted so much. I've done a few shorts, which have been good fun. Always like doing those. And I haven't stopped watching people's content. But as I said yesterday, we've got quite a big do this weekend, and it's at my place. So yeah, it's been hectic. Mrs. CPM has given me all sorts of things to sort out, so yeah, that's kept me really busy, and I've wanted to do a lot of things just to keep it all tidy. I just hope it's not going to bucket down with rain. I'm going to sneeze. Oh my god, there has to be on video, doesn't it? Excuse me. Oh dear, I felt quite coldy this morning, so I'm hoping the whiskey's going to do me some good. Right, this week on the setup we have silver everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but I put more silver out than what I normally do. And the only reason for that is it's really funny. Earlier on today, it was this afternoon, I just had my lunch, and Cobra Stacker gave me a call. And we was having a quick chat about a few things. And I was saying to him, we were talking about investments and how weird the markets are and everything. And I forgot about the US CPI data was coming out today. But I said to him, that's really weird. I don't understand. I said, the dollar seems to be dropping. Pardon me. On the TradingView app I look at, sorry. And I said it's really weird because normally the correlation with gold, but especially gold and silver as well, is when the dollar has a drop off the cliff moment, gold and silver reacts. Anyway, we carried on talking, and we said, yeah, strange, it's a bit weird. Anyway, at the end, I said goodbye or whatever, and I was just looking at an update on the TradingView app. I don't know if anyone looks at that, but I'm interested in it. It's helped me try to learn, thanks to Camel Finance's channel, how to read analysis and try to do analysis, your own analysis on a chart. Anyway, I looked at it and I thought, oh my god, with that, just within 5 minutes, silver and gold started ripping. And so I text Cobra Stacker and I said, maybe I should mention this more because yeah, everything started to rip up. So yeah, it's silver especially. Gold's had a good rip today, all based on the US dollar dropping because the CPI data in the US has come out better than expected. Well, a lot cooler. I don't think anyone had actually thought that that inflation data had come down by that much in 1 month. But anyway, that's a little bit out of my pay grade, so I don't fully understand it. But yeah, we found it interesting. He was laughing. So yeah, and I thought silver, I just had a look at silver. I think it's up 4% since this morning, today, so in dollars. And so I thought, oh great, I'm gonna say this is Silver Day. So yeah, I thought I'd get out a load of silver, and especially a US Eagle. I thought that'd be appropriate to have at the front there. Anyway, so yeah, I've been pretty busy this week. Still my favourite coin. Perth Mint 365. You're dead right. Is the best. And shiny precious metals. I know you love it. Yeah, it's been a busy week, and so I would have thought I'm not going to sort of have a great deal of time between now and Sunday afternoon, when hopefully everyone's gone. I mean that in the nicest way, for sure, because it's going to be a great weekend. Anyway, getting back to, I finally got my cable that I've been waiting for ages. So yeah, that's really cool. That come today in the post. So hopefully next week, I've got an operation at the beginning of August. So I want to try and get my new setup with recording, so I can do lives. I'm using a program called OBS. I'm trying to get my head around it, but I really want to change things up, because I really love being creative, and get some really good recording sessions going, especially as it seems like we're going to do a few more collaborations going forward, and also I want to do the lives on Whiskey Wednesday. So what am I trying to say is, by the time I have my op, I've got a 2-week recovery after it. Pretty straightforward stuff, and so yeah, in those 2 weeks, hopefully I'll be doing. I won't be able to do too much physically, but I can certainly enjoy being creative with my videos. So that'd be cool. So I'm looking at, hopefully after this weekend, trying to get that up and running, and doing a new setup indoors. So obviously I can use better Wi-Fi coverage to do all this. So that's really cool. That's quite exciting for me. Talking of collaborations, I'm getting a little list together, which is really cool. And to add to that list, we're going to try and do one at some point, once we organise it, future investments, which yeah, that'd be really cool. And the reason why I'm really pleased he said he would do that. He's my son's age, and it'd be lovely. It'd be like, in a way, it'd be like trying to, communicate with someone with my son's age, and I really enjoy that with me oldest boy. So I will look forward to that a lot. I'll look forward to them all, to be fair. So that's really good. And what was really funny, I noticed 365 have put a comment on there. Yes, we want to see that one happen. So that's cool. That'd be good. So it's quite encouraging that, as a community, some of you want to see that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm going to persevere with that. I will say to 365, it'd be even cooler if you decide to come on the channel too, and you haven't got to reveal yourself. It's absolutely fine. We can just look at your hands. That's cool. So there you go, mate. Cheers. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Two whiskey guys having a chat, which would be excellent. I've had loads of comments. It's quite overwhelming, really. I've got a list that I'm slowly trying to reply to. I started today and then got sidetracked. But I thank you so much. It's really cool. Some, the responses that I'm getting are quite interesting. I'll try and pronounce the name. Veritas Files, new guy, lady, I don't know, left 3 really constructive comments on 3 of my videos this week, and I haven't quite replied to him, but I just wanted to say thank you very much for doing that, because it's always cool that people say, yeah, lovely video, blah, blah, blah. It's even cooler when people put their point of view across, in a constructive way, and that's really nice to see, because and then I know people are taking it on board and talking about subjects that I've been talking about. So I really appreciate that. Every Cloud as well. He writes some lovely comments. Well, you all do, but getting it's always difficult. But I'm going to be honest. It's so nice to see constructively put comments, because then it make nice reading. Don't get me wrong, I do like all the others. But yeah, really cool. Really appreciate it. I can't remember. Cranky Stacker's another one. You know, over in America. Lovely bit of input that he puts on. It's really cool. I wish I had so much time to look at everyone's channels, but I don't, unfortunately. So sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to go and look at other people's content. But when I do, I always put a little comment in if I can, which is really cool. So tonight we've had 2 people asking questions, and I have no idea where it's going to take us. I haven't, as you all know, I don't rehearse this at all. I don't have a schedule. I don't edit it. As soon as I finished, I don't even I don't even put any intros on it or anything, because it's just too big a file to muck around with. Which is why I'm going to be really keen to get this other setup going, because it's, as I'm recording it, downloads straight onto my computer. So that'd be really cool. But anyway, I'll kick it off. I don't know what order I want to do this in, but I'll kick it off with Camel Finance. First of all, he said, "How are you, mate?" "I'm fine, mate. Everything's super cool. Just a bit busy at the moment. I get frustrated, as you know, but that frustration is part of my learning curve, like anything. But yeah, as a rule, I'm absolutely fine." And he's asked me 3 questions, and the first one was really. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to read them out in the order he's put them in, but one of them was, he's getting married in about 6 weeks. Congratulations, dude. Cheers to that. That's really great news. He's been together for 9 years with his partner, and he put, "Any advice, LOL." What's my advice on that? Well, there's always the funny stuff, isn't there? What are you doing? Why do you want to get married? If you thought trading was difficult, then wait till you get married. There's all those funny things. The best advice I can give you, mate, being serious, is enjoy it. Believe in what you're doing. I love weddings personally. Was very fortunate to go to one recently, which was very, very cool. But I love what it means. If you obviously it sounds like you're very sincere about what you want to do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. Enjoy it. Whatever you do, work at everything about your relationship. Regardless of how difficult it is. I don't know if you've got any kids. I know you've got a dog, because you take your dog for a walk. Just love it and be there. Be the brick in the family, not the prick. Although you'll probably be called that lots of times. I am. But be the brick and do your best for everyone, and always remember, love is king, and yeah, enjoy it for what it is, and I wish you well, and I wish you luck. So yeah, there you go. That's that one. Cheers to that. Right, another one. He said, "Has anyone had the idea of having a giant Zoom call with all the Stacker channels?" And I thought, well, I don't think anyone's had that idea. I know when I've been watching lives, particularly on, well, the only lives I really watch is Future Investments and the Stack Collectors live that they do. mostly on a Sunday. Well worth watching. It's great to see the community have a good old chinwag on the chat. But yeah, I noticed that a few people have been talking about getting together. You know, people worried about their ID and revealing who they are, and which is fine. It's there's no rules in this in this community. I don't think anyway. So yeah, I mean that could be a really good idea. Probably from my point of view, the more I can make this successful and the more I can be comfortable with it and the more people can be comfortable coming on to the channel, doing lives or not lives, doing a Zoom call set up, if I can find a better way through OBS. I think you can do it through OBS in a similar way to Zoom. Yeah, there's no reason we can't. And yeah, it would be a giggle. It would be a bit of a laugh. But yeah, there's no reason why that can't happen in the future from my point of view. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, stackers, and you stackers with channels. Yeah, let's have a talk about it. And it's early days for me. There's a lot of technical things to sort out, but you see it. You see 3 or 4 people getting together on Zoom talking about Bitcoin, talking about gold, talking about silver. It's all possible. It's just down to whether people want to do it or not. I take it. So yeah, be interesting. Maybe we can get you on board as well, Camel. I know we're going to try and do something together at some point. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to that one. That'd be cool. Anyway, so yeah, we'll leave that in the air. I've now put it out there. Let's see what sort of responses we get. To anyone thinks it's a good idea or not. And the main one that I thought, oh my God, how am I going to answer this one? The question is, if I had to pick only one asset to hold until the end of the decade, which is 2029, 2030, if you want to call it that, what would it be? And I've really struggled with this one, if I'm honest. Excuse me. Now, and when I read it, I thought, I don't want to think about it too much because I just want it to be, to come out on the video as I thought about it. But in between all the other crazy things that go on in my mind, I was thinking about it, and that's pretty cool because it takes me on a little journey half the time, which is fantastic. So a lot of people might turn around and go, oh, I bet he's going to say Bitcoin. We'll come to that. I don't find it that easy, to be honest, to say that. There's a reason for that as well. If I've got to really think about this one, how I put it across. Pardon me, there's no pressure to do that. So, if I was to really think about it, I would say, yeah, if I only could pick one, and this is totally my opinion, it has no relevance. I've often said, what the hell do I know? But my personal opinion, I would like, and it's an interesting way I've worded that, I would like to pick Bitcoin, purely because of how I see the asset, how I see things changing, how I see the world changing, how I see financial systems changing. If I wanted to invest in what I see as a hard money, sound money in a digital format as we transfer into this new digital age, I would have to pick Bitcoin. But there's a but, and there is a big but, is I cannot get gold out of my head. And so, wire, I always go back to it. I did a video on wires. Um, and the reason why I can't get it out of my head is there is two things going on here. You've got one with a ton of history. Gold has been seen through history um, as a form of sound money, a hard currency, or hard money. Sorry, I shouldn't say currency, or hard asset, however you want to put it. But you know what I mean. For years, centuries, thousands of years. So it's hard to bet against it. Really hard to bet against it. So I'm kind of going to be a little bit. I've got to be honest here. I would like to pick Bitcoin for sure, but I can't wholeheartedly go that way. I want to back up, and the reason why I want to back up because I think it's okay. Sorry about this. If we're just going to have a bit of fun and from my point of view, not take it too seriously, then yeah, Bitcoin. I'm going to go for it. Bitcoin, 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 for sure. If I want to be serious and answer the question with honesty, I can't just pick Bitcoin. And to be honest with you, I want silver in there too. I don't hide this. I've never hidden it since I've been on the channel. I have three main, this is where I look at it. I have three main assets that I have, and I'll bring another subject in before I get to 365's question. Three main things that I have gut faith in, and I picked those three assets as winners for me to invest and protect my wealth, and that's Bitcoin because of where it's going, and we're moving into a different era of the way we do stuff. So I want the closest I can find to a hard money state in a digital world, and that's the only one I can find that makes sense to me personally. I also want gold there because I want gold as a backup. It's been there for years and years and years. You can't just get rid of what gold stands for in my eyes. You can't just and it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And silver, well, I've got an affinity, and as 365 said today, he's got a bit of an addiction to silver bars at the moment. I've basically got an addiction to the shiny stuff, and I see having those three assets as my main core, and that's where my main core of money goes, into those three assets. I could not want them in my core part of my portfolio at all. So yeah, that's a serious answer to that. I do allocate different amounts to each one, but I can't not have them in my main core, for sure. And I look at them from a psychological point of view. I look at Bitcoin as my oldest son. I look at gold as my daughter. I look at silver as my youngest son. My oldest boy I can relate to with Bitcoin because he's all for change. He's all for sound, a sound way of life, a good bit of proof of work. He loves working. He loves proving his work, and he loves the reward for his work. And I think personally, Bitcoin is a great attribute to that. Personally, going into this new world of ours, gold. I just want to be funny, really, but gold is solid, and that's my relationship with my daughter. I've got one daughter, and they say about dads and daughters. I can see she's got a special little place in my heart, being my daughter. It is different to my boys. I don't love them differently. I love them all the same. So yeah, I look at gold as, my daughter's always there. She's from from that lovey carey point of view. They all do it, but there's a different relationship there, and that's the relationship I've got with gold. So, and as for silver, I look at silver like my youngest son. He's very very flexible in his outlook. He's solid. He's consistent. He's not overly out there. He's not underly out there, and I see silver as that. So that's the way I look at those three assets, and I tie them into how I feel about my children. And I can't, this is why I get back to the answer. To cut a long story short, I can never do without my kids. They're such an important thing in my life. So when I apply that to investing, I wanted to find something that I can feel the same way of, but from an investment point of view, if that makes sense. I know this is a bit of psychology, but it's good for me. I've got something to relate to, and it keeps me there. It keeps my faith going in it. I'm not going to just I'm going to do a lot of work to find that relationship. Just like I've done a lot of work to be a good dad to my kids. Hopefully that's the case. So yeah, and then choose those three assets, and then bang, it's a constant reminder for me. So yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. That's a very honest answer. If I'm gonna be, I'll go back to it. If I'm really gonna not be overly serious, but be serious, yeah, Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is definitely one. If I had no choice whatsoever, I would pick it. I find that so hard to do because I'm just at the back of my mind. It's just like, well, gold's been there. It's got more history. But no, I'll go with Bitcoin on that. But in true reality, and I'm being honest, I can't. I need those three. Yeah. And there's no way I'm going to drop two of my children and just have one. So yeah, that's my psychology around that one. That's the way I look at it anyway. Great questions. Camel, you always make me think, which is super fantastic. Getting back to the Bitcoin, gold, silver thing, on my community page, on my community tab, I'll be posting, if you're interested, stuff that I'm watching to try and educate myself. Now, I will keep saying this, that some of the things I'll be watching that will be gold people, some of the things I'll be watching will be silver people, some things I'll be watching will be, Bitcoin people. But what I will say to you is if, get over that, just listen, really listen, because they've all got the same story, but they say it in a different way to a degree. And there's so much good information out there that I don't think about purely because I judge it and turn it off. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested in Bitcoin, I would highly recommend today. I think this morning I posted a video that I watched. I think it was last night, from Simon Dixon. I'm not going to go into the detail, but what a fascinating outlook and view he brings to the party. I know he goes on about Bitcoin, but if you don't like Bitcoin, forget about the Bitcoin bit. Just listen to what he's saying about his experience in the financial marketplace. It's fascinating. Got a very interesting view, and it kind of makes sense. But I don't marry it. It just helps me. So yeah, I'll be posting lots of stuff like that. Blimey, half an hour's gone already. Now, 365. He sent me a message, Whiskey Wednesday. What are your thoughts on CBDCs? And then he put, do they concern me? And I thought, oh, bloody hell, man. Oh, what a can of worms that is. So, of course, I've got thoughts on it. And I'll go into that in a minute. But it's really hard for me because when I first got into investing and looking at all these different assets, it was so easy to go down these rabbit holes, what people call conspiracy theories, and a lot of these conspiracy theories turn out to be fairly true anyway. But when I get questions like that, I think to myself, how can I answer them? What do... Hello, Queenie. Sorry, I'm going to say this again. That looks so much better than King Charles' head. Although it is growing on me. Sorry, sidestep there. Yes, it makes me think about how the hell do I answer this? Do I answer it down a conspiracy way, or do I answer it down the truth? Now, bits of me really want to get carried away with a conspiracy, and I want to be. I'd like to share how I think about stuff, albeit it's probably a load of bollocks. Excuse my language, but no kiddie should be watching this. Hopefully, but yeah, my opinion is probably a load of bollocks if I go down that route. If I'm honest, because I can't educationally back it up, but it's such good fun going down there. It's so good fun just trying to put some logical sense behind something based on stuff that quite simply, possibly, I might be making up. And one of my biggest problems is a lot of it I'm just repeating what I've heard other people say, and I can't back up what other people are saying is the truth. And that's a bit of an issue in my head. Good grief. So, how do I answer that question? Let's go down the honest route. Come on, CPM. Let's go down the honest route. What are my thoughts on CBDCs? Well, okay, I'm going to have a puff as well while I'm doing this. Sorry, a bit of smoke in the screen. It's like pubby though, isn't it? It's really cool. Although you can't smoke in pubs anymore, but it reminds me of when I was young. Anyway, what are your thoughts on CBDCs, and do they concern me? Okay, I'm going to answer that in two parts. Try to anyway. My thoughts on CBDCs, like anything, I'm going to use my chessboard. There's as we know, and I've explained, the way I see this whole world is there's two tiers, basically. I'm down here. I'm just a pleb. I'm just an idiot playing a game down here, and there's this other game playing out on here. Now, if CBDCs, and we'll go into what I think they could be in a minute, CBDCs are what these guys see, which is your IBSs, your higher than central banking people, down to your governments, down to your central banks, down to the little banks. If this is what they see as the way of the future, then that's what it's going to be. That's my initial thoughts. I can't answer it any other way. I have no control. I know we all like talking about it, but if I'm deadly honest, I have not even the slightest clue of how or of what people at that level are talking about in their boardrooms, in their gentlemen's clubs, in their in however they communicate and do what they do. I have no frigging idea. Absolutely none. All we get is fed out through different people's interpretations of this and that and whatever, and then we have to try and make up our mind what's coming, what's not coming, what's shit, what isn't shit, what is bollocks, what isn't bollocks. How will this affect us? Would it affect us? So I always find it really tough when I'm talking to an audience of especially when I'm trying to be real. I could sit here and make up a load of bollocks. I really could, and really make it come across, very sincere. But I can't do that if I don't believe in it myself. What I do believe in is and this is my honesty, is that I have no way of affecting what these guys are going to do. I really have no way of affecting of it at all. So what I have to do is try and educate myself to try and understand within all of the noise of people trying to make money out of it, people trying to make videos out of it, people trying to scare the shit out of people, people trying to be legitimate about it as well, for whatever reasons they're doing. I then have to try and sit there and work out, is this a threat to my plan? Is this a threat to my way of life? Is this going to be a threat? Okay, cool. So that's why I find it really difficult to actually give a viewpoint on it. Now, if CBDCs had been introduced and I was using them or forced to use them or had to use them or whatever, then I could give you a totally different opinion on my personal experience. But at the moment, it's just hearsay, and I can't really. I can judge it, but then am I being false in that judgment, or am I being sincere in that judgment? Well, I don't know at the moment. So it's pretty obvious if you read the literature, the proper. If you go on the proper government websites, the banking websites, if you want to believe all that, and there's no reason why we shouldn't, they're coming. A form of central bank digital currency is going to be introduced at some point. Now, this is speculation. I never forget what Rishi Sunak said when he was Chancellor over a year ago, and it's on video, that by 2025 they'd have some form of Britcoin, which is basically a CBDC, live in the UK 2025. I have no reason to not believe that. So that's what I put my first basis on. There's a good probability that by 2025, that or pretty close to that, that some format of CBDC will be out. Then you look at the information that you can see. Now, unless it's all a load of shit, let's put that to one side, and we've got to have a bit of faith and believe in something that these guys are doing. They're planning it. They're putting teams together. They're doing trials. They're doing this and that. Da, da, da. So the next thing is what are they? This is where it starts to go well above my pay grade, and all I can do is use speculative language of what people are saying they are. And the biggest fear that people are saying and talking about is you're going to lose your identity. You're going to have your money controlled, with the possibility of you being denied access to your money. Well, does that worry me? Does that concern me? Yes, it does. Of course it does. Is it speculative at this moment in time? Yes, it is. Is that the true intention of what these bastards are going to want to do? Excuse my language, but they're not bastards, but you know what I mean. Yes, probably. Can I do anything about it? That's the core thing. What can I do about it? What can I do to get myself ready? And that's a great question for me personally. I'm not 100% sure how I can answer that. I would imagine from the information from people that have spoken about this, although I will keep saying it's speculative because no one actually knows. I haven't actually heard anyone from the Bank of England repeat what they've been talking about in a finance meeting with their engineers and software engineers that are producing CBDCs. I haven't seen that. Maybe it's out there. Leave a comment. Let me know where I can find that. What it is people speculating, and quite rightly so. It makes for good debate and it gets us all thinking. So, what are they? The honest God, I really don't know because I haven't seen them yet. But if, let me try and think about how I want to put this across. If we are going to go to, well, first of all, I've got to ask myself the question: why do they need CBDCs? Why can't they just keep with what the shit that they've got at the moment? Well, I presume it's because they all know it's freaking collapsing and it's coming to the end. And the currencies around the world are becoming more and more worthless. It's pretty, excuse my language, it's pretty fucked up. The whole system, and they know it's got to change. And blockchain technology has changed the game. We can thank Bitcoin for that, and pre technology to Bitcoin for that, because it was been played around with before, I believe, before Bitcoin was introduced. So you've got cryptography, blockchain technology, better ledger system. It's all better than what they've got now. So in their own infinite wisdom, as governments and central banks have had the monopoly of how we use money for I don't know how long now, have decided to come up with, well, I presume, how can we come up with a system that's better than what we've got at the moment, and maybe be able to control our economy and wealth better than what we've done, and still keep that. Still keep that. See, here I go, like this down that route, isn't it, of speculation, and still keep that that form of control, to keep the plebs and the peasants where they belong. So yeah, they've come up with a central bank digital currency, and well, I see. This is where I get lost because I get. Do they concern me? Well, okay. We'll move on to that portion of the answer because I'm really struggling to answer these in an honest way because I really have not seen them in the flesh, so I can't answer it. So it's all going to be speculative crap rolling out of my head. Do they concern me? Well, if it goes down that route where whether I am, I'm in an older point in life, but I'm thinking of my kids as well. However we're going to be paid, it's going to be a central bank digital currency that's going to be, this is speculation, which is going to be controlled, which is going to be, your ID's tied to everything. You can't do anything without Big Brother watching you doing what you're doing. Yeah, that's a step further than what they do at the moment, because pretty much everything that we do is trackable to a degree. The only difference that possibly the central bank, or the only advantage for them with a central bank digital currency to what they've got at the moment, is you've got too many intermediaries in between all your electronic exchanges. So it's quite difficult for a central banking system, government system, to actually identify what CPM's doing, 365's doing, Cobra Stacker's doing, Future Investments is doing, the Stack Collector, the Silver Stacker, McDonald Bullion. It goes on and on, Cranky Stack, it goes on and on and on and on and on. Every cloud. I'm going to mention everybody. At the moment, you can. There's an argument. So, well, your KYC for everything, know your customer. everything you want to do electronically. They've basically got a collection of information on you at the moment, which is fine, they have, but because it's quite difficult for that for a central governing banking system to actually see that and where that money's going, it's hard because you're going through many different companies through the transactions. So I suppose from their point of view it would make sense to have a more centralized system where they cut out all those intermediaries, and basically issue you with some sort of electronic wallet. And all you youngsters are used to this, you're totally used to it, and you're allocated your CBDCs for whatever reason, whether that's through pay, whether that's through handouts, whether that's through, what's the latest thing, universal basic income, whatever's going to be in the future will be paid to you direct, and possibly with an expiry date. Obviously got all that, and you can only spend it at certain places maybe, or that can be controlled. Does all that concern me? Of course it freaking does, because your freedom's going, your freedom to get up in the morning, go and do what you want to do within reason, obviously, without anyone sort of looking over your shoulder saying, you can't do that, or we don't want you buying that anymore, or your YouTube channel is too view orientated, which we don't like. There's all that possibility, and I'm sure that maybe that's going on, but that's, we've all got choices. I don't have to do a YouTube channel. I can be a little hermit and hide away. But for you young guys, yeah, I do get concerned about it, and I'm concerned about it too, if I'm brutally honest, because I don't personally want that. But I will go back to this. There may be a point in time where I have no choice. So what I have to do is really educate myself and try and work out for myself the possibilities, all the different case scenarios, and then try and work out, is there anything that I can do to get outside of that system that has any possibility of being of value in the future? And dare I mention it, Bitcoin, gold, silver. There you go. That's the only out that I can see. Stocks and shares, yeah, you kiss those goodbye, mate. Totally controlled under that setup. I've got it in my hand here, guys. Look, a lot of you know this. I've got this. This is a poor representation, but this is a little Krugerrand, 1/10 piece of gold. It's mine. It's in my hands. I'm out of the system. I'm out of the electronic surveillance system. Now, you're all going to shout at me, probably, all you gold and silver people, and you're quite right to say this, oh, but Bitcoin, you haven't got it. Well, very true. I should have brought my cold wallet over and just presented that in front of you. And then I could have said, well, we'll pretend it, there's my Bitcoin. It's not, it's a lens cover off a camera. But try and pretend and go with it. There's my Bitcoin sitting on this key, this totally disconnected from the system set of keys, as you can call it, a key, to the access to my electronic Bitcoin. And without this, and what's stored in my head from a password and words, it's as good as, it's the best thing I can find electronically, going into an electronic world, that represents having this. Albeit you can't actually physically see it unless you transfer it or go onto a piece of software on a computer. But that's not going anywhere. Jesus Christ, man. I hear loads of arguments about, oh yeah, but what if they shut the system down? I've been trying to do this for ages. You know, if they shut the internet down, then everyone's fucked. We won't be able to do anything. So it's of no interest. So if there's an internet running in the world, I've got access to my stuff. I haven't got to load up all my silver to go to go to the other side of the world where the internet's running, and try and get it through whatever hoops and barriers I have to get through. I don't know. You know, say I had 1,000 ounces of silver. Well, that'd be a suitcase full. I think it'd be pretty evident carrying that across a suitcase, airport lounge. And the same with gold. You know, it's the same thing. You know, so it's, for me, it's this. I get really passionate about this, and it's only because I've spent so many frigging hours learning about the value that this means to me, this silver coin means to me, this piece of gold means to me, this Bitcoin means to me. It's all sound. I view Bitcoin as the soundest form of digital new money that there is, and I have it. Sound money, which makes a lovely sound when you clash it together. Very, very sound, valuable money. So I've got it all. Yeah, and I keep getting it all. And that's my way of being outside whatever these lovely people are trying to come up with. And trust me, there's another important point that I always think about, is these guys coming up with have far greater wealth than I've got. They've got this. And they've got this. Why have they got that if their CBDCs are the best thing in the world? Yeah, it's meant for the plebs. Not meant for them. They've got this. They've got the assets. All the assets. You know, and trust me, do your research and find out how much fucking Bitcoin they've got as well. You know? Do your research. You can see it. You can see it on the ledger system. You can see it on the database. BlackRock. All of them. Banks, JP Morgan, HSBC. They've all got it. They've all got their fingers in it. Well, if it's good enough for them, and it's frigging good enough for me, and if it means it can work for these big conglomerate companies and individuals, you can tell the passion's coming out here, you know, because I've spent so much time getting myself in because we're so used to living down here, you know, we can't be this. We fucking can be that. We so can be that. Not at that level, but we can try and protect ourselves by making sure we got stuff that we can look after and hold that they do on a massively different level than your houses and your property and bits and pieces. Pardon me. You know? So that's why I get passionate about it all. And that's why I find it really difficult to put myself across without really getting it up. It is so logical, you know. I've heard 365 talk about this, you know. I'm sure he's sent on a few videos in the past, you know, when I've been watching, and loads of other people have said it. You know, do what they do. They're trying to come up with systems that they think is good for us. Well, educate yourselves. Anything that, as I've said a zillion million times, the whiskey's working, here I go. There is no organisation out there to date in my life that come knocking on my door with my best interests at heart. The only best interests any organisations at this level have had is CPM. You're working, pay your taxes, pay your duties, pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that. And we'll totally leave you alone if you configure and conform to running around here providing the basis of that system. Bingo, guys, bingo. So yeah, we have to carry on doing that, and we have to find new ways. Is there any other way? Is AI going to come up with a better solution? Is AI going to change it? I don't know. Freaking hell, I find it fascinating learning about it, but I don't know, and I can't control what AI is going to do. Sometimes we have to sit back and just think, shit, what's the best thing I can do to protect me, my wealth, my family, and hope to God it will have some sort of significance and hold up in the future. And I believe it will. This stuff here, I really do. And this comes with the last thing I wanted to talk about is faith. I've got so much faith in stuff that makes frigging sense, and it makes sense that, you know, coming from my heart, not from my fucking difficult thinking brain, not what these people are telling us what I should be doing. It just makes sense, that, and you've got to have that bit of faith. And I've got, for once in my life, I've got pretty confident in the faith that I'm not gonna move from it. I may be wrong. I may be so wrong, guys, and please do not do anything I'm doing. I really don't. Do what you want to do. But for me personally, for my family personally, I believe I am doing the right thing, and I've got a tremendous amount of faith in it. Have I got much faith in? Let's just flip this on a little bit until I finish this whiskey. Have I got much faith in anything I have no custody over? No, I haven't. Not at all. Really haven't. You know, it's like this copper fitting I've got here. This has been out ages, these things. Yeah, I hold that. You know, who knows I've got that? Well, you guys do. And the whole of the world does if they want to watch it. Well, that'd be good for my channel, wouldn't it? Come on, guys, everyone watch this. But there's another subject, actually, what we expose ourselves to when we do video. Yeah, you need to just use your brains a little bit, guys. Yeah, but the sentiment of this is, you know, I hold it. So I'm interested in holding my assets. I'm interested in what this world. If you really seriously go down this educational route, you hear self-custody so many times. I have self-custody in a physical form. Yeah, there's the word, physical, of that asset. And you've seen most of my stuff. This asset, good old lens caps coming back, and another asset, which I believe is the future in a digital world, if we go there. But it looks like we are going there. These guys have made that decision, not me. I can make that decision, but from an investment point of view, is that like missing the next Coca-Cola? Is that like missing the next combustion engine? Is that like missing the next jet plane? Is that like missing the next whatever that is invented in the world, you know? This time I want a part of it, you know? Might be wrong, might not. But going back to, you know, my stocks and shares, I'm so excited about investing in stocks and shares. I love it, love it, love it. And I love my control. I love that I can do the research and pick it and diddle-diddle. But friggin' hell, some other company has it. I don't have it. You know, I've got to trust them, and I trust them explicitly. But I'm sure a lot of people trusted, what was it, FTX. I'm sure a lot of people trusted their banks. Shit happens. You know? Shit happens. So, but yeah, that's life. You know? My God, how did we go there? 365, what have you done? So yeah, they do concern me, but they don't concern me. And they concern me. It would concern me. Well, this is interesting. This is an interesting bit of psychology. Would it concern me if I didn't have any of this? If I wasn't even interested in this, and this was just a frigging golf video, or I have book review video content, whatever, or you know, a camera thing, or plumbing. You know, would it concern me? Probably not, because I'm not educated in it until it happens, and that's, guys, that's the majority of people. You mustn't forget that. Most people don't even know what's going on, or potentially what's going on. Most people don't give a shit. You know, most people just want their money. They want to go down, the youngsters want to go down the pub at the weekends and enjoy themselves, and kids want to play, and, you know, grown-ups, they don't want to know. So these guys have got that monopoly on that. For me, and I'm sure a lot of you out there, we want that sound money, hard money, you know, and we've got to, not we, you do what the frig you like, you know, but for me, I've got to make sure that the information that I know, I'm going to make best use of it. Jesus, I've spent a fortune now investing in stuff. So, and I'm really happy with it. So that'd be the flip side of, do they concern me? Well, yeah, they do, but I've got enough faith in what I'm doing to think, well, I think I'm only doing what these guys are doing, but not at that level. So if it's good enough for them, it's going to be good enough for me, and I want to take that risk. Cheers. Does that make sense? Wow, I could get so frigging passionate about it, and I don't want to. I don't want to go mad, because I've done all the madness. I've done all the madness while I was, you know, over the last year, I was shouting at the screen, going, "Oh bloody hell, I didn't know that," and boring my wife, Mrs. CPM, to death with it all, and people don't want to know. But I do. So if I've done enough, and what is enough, that's another question, that's another video, who knows, but is it too late? Frig no, it's never too late. Bitcoin's on, you know, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin's on the beginning of its journey, the very early part of the S-curve adoption cycle. I know it's expensive, but you don't have to buy one Bitcoin. You can buy one sat, you know. Did you not know there's 100,000 sats to one Bitcoin, and you can buy denominations of Bitcoin in sats? So yeah, I'd buy 100 quid's worth at the moment. I'm really lucky, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet. I'm not being blingy here. I've been dollar cost averaging and buying a set amount every day, and it ain't one Bitcoin every day, because I haven't got that much bloody money. These guys do. You'd be amazed at what gets bought. You know, hundreds, millions of pounds worth. You see all the transactions going on. It's amazing. But I do my little bit, you know, and it's an early part of adoption. And I think, well, I think these guys, this here, will have its time. It will have its time, and this especially is going to get its time, because it's got too much history to just be thrown out the way. Don't know, might be. All of it might be a load of shit, and something new might come along. Who knows? AI might think, what the friggin' hell you're doing when it becomes more used in the future. It's a crazy thing to use gold, silver, Bitcoin. You want to be doing this. Well, that's called innovation. It's called changes. But I don't. I kind of hope that's going to be quite a way away. But yeah, there you go. That was an interesting chat. Flip, it's gone over an hour. That's nuts. I could just talk. And this is the problem I'm going to have when I start. And this is one of the problems I have when I start talking to Cobra on the when we do recordings. We just end up talking for ages. So that's the insight of this crazy mind of mine. I hope there's been some stuff in there that will encourage you all to, just sit back, chill, relax, open your minds, do your education, and don't get stuck in shit, because these guys want you to get stuck down here. I've got no intention of ever getting up here. I'm not born into it. I'm not a part of that system. I'm not part of that class system at all. I'm down here with all of you guys and everyone else, probably lower than most of you, I don't know, but I don't look at it as a class system really. We're all humans, for God's sake, and we all shit the same shit. Excuse me, sorry, I get really passionate about class systems and whatever. So yeah, I hope these little chats come across okay. I hope they're useful. The overall message that I always do is please, please, please do your research, learn, try not to judge too many people. I know we all do, and I'm the world's worst half the time. But when we do it, we can miss a trick, and if we miss a trick, then we've missed an opportunity. And if we've missed an opportunity, we've gone backwards in our investment strategy. So we need to make sure that faith is real, that the intent of what we're trying to do is real. It sits good inside of us. It makes sense. We're not kidding ourselves. We're listening to our heart. We're not letting our head rule us. And we can't do any more than that. We really can't. Unless you go out and break the law and do some bad shit, really. That's not my style, I'm afraid. Not in this life, anyway. So, yeah, that's cool. Thank you so much. I love it. I want to talk more. I want to engage more. I want to talk to people more. I want people to challenge me more. So I can try and use what I know and talk about the stuff that I don't know, to try and come up with an understanding of what I don't know, to make it fit into that investment strategy so I can improve and do better. And that's what I want for all of you. I didn't quite finish the whiskey, did I? But I've run out of steam. I haven't had a puff for an hour either. So psychological, and it's vaping. I'm glad I don't smoke anymore. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that one. Sorry it went on for a while. I hope you get something out of it. If you don't, you probably haven't made it this far and you've turned it off. If you have made it this far, thank you. I would really appreciate if you have made it this far, to just let me know. Let me know, and you'll know because I want you to mention that at the end in the comment, and that will prove it to me. But that's a bit of fun. It would be cool to know that people actually watch it all. Anyway, take care. It's been bloody fun. I hope I haven't really pissed everyone off. I hope I haven't lost you. I hope that's made some sense, and I hope really sincerely that there's something in there that you can take away and go off and have a look and do something with it. There is hope. and it's all in front of us, including the lens cap. Have fun, guys. Thank you so much. I look forward to the next one, and I'll get this out there. It'll probably take a good hour and a half to get it out there, but it's been really cool. Take care. Love you all. See you soon.